Hey, golly, man, sorry. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. I am Tim, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Man, I tell you what, the coffee is not percolating in the brain cells like it should be. But good morning, everybody, and welcome to the forest here. So another Sunday morning, and really, I just wanted to get on the air. I had a few issues yesterday. I tried being out here for the Indiana QSO party and ran into some technical difficulties, and hopefully all that has been worked out. But when I did get out here, it was I'm not going to say it was a wreck. The bands weren't bad, but maybe they were just a little. I hate to say it, just a little too active, and um, right in the middle of cues, you know, is the frequency in use. I get it, right? You may not always hear everybody, but uh, navigated through that a few times, and then the Europeans come blasting in, and I don't think they could hear me, so I figured it was dinner time. I just went ahead and packed up and went on home. So there we go. Um, let's see here. Dave checking in this morning. Good morning, Dave. Robert checking in this morning. Good morning, Robert. Aaron checking in this morning from Kentucky. If you guys didn't watch it, go back last Wednesday. Brent, Aaron, and a couple others are hosting a POTA campout in central Kentucky, just at a park just south of, kind of southeast of Louisville. And so Brent came on and talked about that, but and that kind of feeds into a bigger bigger thing in how we can start doing those. Brent mentioned that Michael KB9 VBR, the J pole antenna guy, and does a lot of things. He was very helpful in helping them out in suggestions and ideas. But I think ultimately, I think what really has kind of happened and shifted, and I know a lot of people are newer in the hobby, but when I first started in amateur radio, ham fests were a thing. Small ham fests. Almost every county had one. Almost every club had one. There were, larger ones that fed up into the regionals. And then you had the big ones like Hamvention, Hamcation. Most of those died, and this was pre-COVID. This was happening pre-COVID. I think COVID was kind of the nail in the coffin for a lot of these smaller ones. And in most of these cases, it wasn't a it wasn't like being able to buy product. And I think in a lot of cases, because of the internet, because of being able to with online retailers and even the ability to buy used equipment through the swaps on QRZ and a couple other places, I think that need to physically go somewhere to buy it dwindled pretty quickly. And you're even seeing that in brick and mortar stores. I mean, Gigaparts has a mega store, mega in that, it's large. Arnell is a central location. Main Trading Company is a central location. HRO has several, but I don't know what the day-to-day business looks like in the brick and mortars, and maybe that might be an interesting topic for their DX Engineering. I believe it's a single location now, so they're there. They have the ability to go into the store, but for the most part, for a large majority of people, buying online is the way to go. And that kind of I think reduced the need to go to ham fests. The other side of it was very much the social aspect of what we do. I mean, we talk on the radio, but a lot of times it's nice to just put a name and a call sign to a face, have that personal interaction as much as being able to communicate with people online. We've also, because HF has gotten pretty popular, and there are tools now, and there's actually other ways to link up, whether you're on the Toads Discord or the Ham Radio Clubhouse Discord, or Jason Ham Radio 2.0's Discord. There's a lot of ways for people to communicate, but I think the getting in there and is face to face is something that we yearn. And I think in lieu of the ham fest, because those are an expensive proposition to put on. I think things like POTA campouts, or and it doesn't necessarily have to be a campout, or it could be a combination where you go set up at a pavilion at a large state park and run a field day like event where you've got multiple people operating on multiple bands using multiple modes, and do that during the day. And then those who want to continue that, social activity can camp overnight and do all the stuff you do around the campfire and conversate that way, and then have the ability to do it again the next day, right? So I would really, I guess, and long and short of it, is encourage other groups of people, like the four guys down in Kentucky, and Michael, who's done up in the Wisconsin area. I know the guys up in the Northeast Hams, the Live Free and Ham guys, have also done something up there in their area, is to do something like that. Organize and it doesn't have to be a big event. It could literally just be, I'm going to go to the campground. I'm going to reserve some spots, or reserve a thing at a thing, and a pavilion at a POTA park, and host a day-long event, or an overnight event. So I encourage you to do something like that. So Steve Jones checking in this morning. Good morning, Steve. Robert checking in. 2 weeks to Dayton. Radio stickers, pork chop Sammys, Skyline chili. Let's go, Robert, in Alabama. Absolutely. Those are the great things. And I think Robert is experiencing the same thing that I've experienced. Robert's retired, so he doesn't have to punch a clock to go. But we've seen him in Orlando now. This year we'll see him in Dayton, and I'll see him again in I'm sure, well, because he lives in Alabama, so Huntsville won't be as far from him. So, and that's, once again, that social face-to-face aspect. So good thing. Jason Lockwood checking in this morning. David from Frequency Frontiers checking this morning. If you guys don't follow him already, make sure you get subscribed to his channel. Kilo Romeo 4. I'm sorry, the the monitor's right in that zone of in between glasses here. Kilo Romeo 4, Juliet Golf Delta checking in this morning. Good morning. POTA Power Live checking in this morning. Good morning, Vaughn and Julie. And I'm thinking Bill's probably there with you. Hopefully he's got some more on it than his tactical kilt. Just Joe checking in this morning. Good morning, Joe. Aaron's putting the park in here, Taylorsville Lake. Steve checking in this morning. Good morning, Steve. Kelly checking in this morning. Good morning, Kelly. Eric checking in this morning. Good morning, Eric. John checking in. Cooley checking in from the other side of the ridge there. Good morning, Cooley. Rodney checking in this morning. Good morning, Rodney. And Cooley says congratulations on the 5K. So yeah, overnight I finally hit that 5K. And that was fun. So leading into April, my son, I have a teenage son that, obviously is smarter than mom and dad and knows everything. Bet me that I couldn't make 5,000 subscribers by the end of March, and I didn't. I was about 100 short, but kept pushing at it. So took me about a month to get over there, but thank you, Cooley. John says he has a tactical kilt too. I guess it's not that it's a big deal. It's just not. It's not normal. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that around these parts, it's just not normal. But there we go. Mike checking in this morning from New Hampshire. Good morning, Mike. And it looks like we are at the John says me normal. Yeah. So did hit the 5,000 last night, which is cool. And I do all this. I'm not trying to be a professional YouTuber, but I do like the challenge. And to be honest, at some point, I'm in that less than 10 years before I retire, but I'm not done. And I don't really want to punch a clock at a certain point. I'm pretty well recognized in my industry, and so I don't necessarily punch clocks or anything like that, but one of those things in this journey and getting back to being able to just talk to this green dot right here on the screen was really learning how to publicly speak. As a technical person, as an engineer, I'm perfectly comfortable sitting in the data center, sitting in a wiring closet, sitting somewhere where I don't have to communicate with people. So learning how to convey technology, convey knowledge, those kind of things, has been a journey for me, personally, but also professionally. Now that I've amassed all this knowledge over a 30-year IT career, now it's time for me to start giving back, training the next generation of me. So, and my kids aren't really, they've got their own interests, at least right now. Although I will say this, I do have an older son who, we had breakfast yesterday, and he's now, I think, kind of coming to the realization that although he wanted to kind of go do his own thing, maybe technology isn't such a bad card to have in your pocket in understanding. He's a smart kid, but I think it wasn't. He doesn't like the problem solving kind of aspect like I do. So Rodney saying he's trying to make it till July 2nd, putting in 100-hour week right up to the very end. Yeah, and I'm I'm really starting to focus in on that, you know, what it financially looks like for retirement and everything. So going back to this conveying information technology and stuff like that, you know, I really enjoy doing the amateur radio stuff. I don't really care for making videos per se, but truly understanding this, conveying the knowledge and information. So this will probably be my job at some point when I retire, but it's not going to be in a position where it's like my income source. So um, little bit different from that perspective. So um, but yeah, just thinking about how I do it and those kind of things. So um, I was trying to find on the map. Um, Dayton's coming up, and in there, this has come up several times because apparently uh, people don't understand that Taco Bell soda is like Fight Club, and you don't talk about it. I'm not going to name any names, but Chris Bricker, you keep mentioning it on every stream. You need to stop it, man. But so apparently, and you know, soda rules are a little bit different than POTA rules. POTA, you need to be in a public space, public land, you know, not a commercial entity. Apparently, soda is a little bit different, and there is a summit apparently somewhere in Cincinnati. I don't know where it is, and I've got the soda map here, but I don't. I'm not even sure where to look here. Um, so apparently somewhere down here there is some summits, but the point is that there is apparently a. Oh, here we go. I bet this is it. Is that it? Come on. Apparently, there is a summit somewhere in the Cincinnati area where there is a Taco Bell in the summit. And so we've been talking about making a trip down there to go activate that while we're over there in the Dayton area for Hamvention. Dave says he's bummed out that he's not going to be able to make Hamvention this year. And Rodney says he's building data centers in Texas, control engineer, PLC, and SCADA. You know, back to my my son, and Taco Bell's on the air. Back to my son. Speaking of what Rodney was saying, you know, there's tons of trade jobs out there. They did a disservice to my generation, Gen X, and it just has continued to get worse. Where, you know, they tell people the only way you're going to succeed or be successful is with a college degree. I'm pretty successful and I don't have a college degree. I do have an education. I have a very technical education that I acquired while I was in the military. It was kind of exchange for service, I got this education, and it has served me very well in my career. Um, there are tons of trade schools out there. I tried to get my son to focus on one particular one, and it was a commercial electricians program that was run by the union here, and it was actually a joint venture. I think this is, I believe it's the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, and they don't do it just here in Indianapolis, but across the country. They partner with local colleges, and in this case, it's Ivy Tech, which is the Indiana Vocational School, and you can get 2-year degrees, applied science degrees, and stuff like that. And then Purdue University, which is it's Purdue University. And so where you could go through, and you essentially go into this 5-year program, and during the 5 years you work for 3 or 4 of the large shops here. You do your journeyman program and everything. In 5 years you have completed your training. You've gotten at this point, I think you have to go maybe take a handful of on-site classes. And we don't want that on there. Handful of classes, and then you have an associate's degree, and then you can parlay that and go in and go deeper if you wanted something more from Purdue already on the thing. And 5 years and your starting salary is $75,000. I mean, that's not a bad trade-off, and it only goes up from there. And that's union scale. So given this giant boom in building data centers and stuff like that, industrial electricians are a very in-demand job right now. So that's 75,000 basic, union scale. I can only imagine what it is today. And then because of the demand of getting it done, you're looking at tons of overtime and well compensated. Is being an electrician as glamorous as whatever? Maybe not. I don't know. But at the end of the day, one of the things that I had to learn was, I don't live to work. I work to live. So I go home at 5 o'clock. I clock out. Obviously I'm in a 24/7 kind of technical role, but I'll deal with that. But if things arise, but man, if I'm things are status quo, I'm not needed, I'm out. I'm out here in the park. I'm doing fun things like this and going. Dave says, Tim, I don't have a college degree and started my working career in the trades. Absolutely. And, and that's weird. I see my job as a trade. I don't, it's a white collar job. It's a professional job, but it's also a trade job. I mean, I don't necessarily carry a tool belt, but I do have a set of tools. So, electricians and boilermakers are always needed. If you want to travel, 150,000 a year, easy. Absolutely. And one of the things I did as a scout leader for many years was, talk to kids about what that next step was. Do they go to college? So I was kind of in a unique position. I worked at a university, and I would encourage people to look at the trades. I would encourage people to look at the military. I mean, that's a great starting spot to get out. And, I was very successful at what I what I got out of it, from that work experience and everything. The only downfall that I would say that I had, people of my generation had, that's maybe a little bit different, is that people didn't necessarily understand what we did. It was kind of, I don't want to say it was the dark arts, or I don't want to say it was voodoo science, but it was just something that wasn't much of a public understanding. You look at a modern warship today, and people know about the different weapon systems. They know about the different. In my case, I worked in the weapons side of things, and all the electronics and the radar and the computers and everything that go into making that happen is quite a thing. But it wasn't just like public knowledge. So when I walked in and said, "Yeah, I worked on a Sperry Univac 1219," well, that didn't mean anything to anybody because it wasn't something that was in the thing. Or I worked with a 55 Bravo radar or whatever. That doesn't mean a whole lot. But today's, because of the internet, because so many people have served, the multi-generational conflict, it's kind of out there now. So Steve says he has a degree in electrical tech, ISU 1990, never used it professionally. And oddly enough, in most careers, most college degrees, you'll be hard pressed unless they're like a lawyer or a doctor. And even those are advanced degrees, but a lot of people really do not do stuff in the field that their degree is in. So John says he never finished his degree. He got into IT, got a CNE and a MCSE, so a certified network engineer, and which is a client server package. It's not around anymore. And then the Microsoft certified systems engineer. And I was kind of the same way. Got my certifications and I haven't looked back. So, advanced electronics and computer field is what they renamed his field to. So, and for those of you who may not have heard me mention before, Aaron and I, although we didn't go to school at the same time, went to the same school in the Navy. So we spent the first year plus going through electronics school for just the basic to get you started, and then they send you to an advanced school. So depending on what job code, some people work, and it's changed a little bit since I've been, because they've kind of split us up. There's the whole Aegis platform, and you go through various subsets, specialties in that, and then there's, I guess they call them conventional now, or something, just regular fire controlman. But and when I went in, I worked on the Terrier missile system, but inside the Terrier missile system, there was a job specialty code for the Mark 152 fire control computer. There was a specialty code for the 55 Bravo tracking radar. There was a specialty code for the 48 Echo search radar, which the 48 Echo is used in a lot of different areas throughout the conventional fleet. All the aircraft carriers use it because it's a three-dimensional radar, so it uses phased scanning to go up and down. So all kinds of neat things. There's another job code for the CWIS, the closed-in weapon system, which is the Gatling gun with the two radars on it. So it uses a search radar and a tracking radar, or inbound, outbound tracking radars. It's a lot of cool things. So, all right, back to the summit. So yeah, somewhere here in Cincinnati, I'll dive into a little bit more. I think we're actually planning to go down there and do a SOTA activation. So I'm going to assume that somewhere in there, that Taco Bell's going to get pretty busy because a lot of people have been talking about that, and I'm excited about it. So the phalanx, yep. Which fun story. I don't think they use it anymore. I think they use titanium now, but it used to be depleted uranium rounds, and every time we had to load that gun and unload it, we all had to wear dosimeters to to handle the ammunition for it. So, and we would load it up anytime we would go out to sea, unless we were cutting circles just off the coast of California. But anytime we went out beyond the continental United States, we would have to load it up and then unload it coming into U.S. ports. I don't think we unloaded it. I don't remember unloading it going into foreign ports, but everything's a little different. There's different, rules and regulations. Like we couldn't fire up our you have to have navigational radar when you're going in and out of ports, but like the big ones, the 48 Echo, which we used for fire control, and then the 49 radar, which was a big surface search radar that they would use for just general navigational targets. Aaron, it was 3,000 plus rounds a minute when I was there, and I've seen things here recently to where it's in excess of 4,000 rounds a minute. It's quick, and it's burst fire, but I don't know how the drums could empty pretty quickly, and I'm assuming they've made some changes to it. I've seen that they've got cameras on there, and they've also done something where they took that big, ginormous 20 Mike gun, and have also put it on there, so they're firing single rounds, so they can use it to go from annoying surface targets like Iranian corvettes and in the Straits of Hormuz, and put those guys under. So is there a suitable amount of porta potties at the Taco Bell? Just asking for reference. I don't know, but I think they'd have bathrooms. I would recommend that if you are going to be at the Taco Bell, once again, I don't think this will be an issue for our people in general, but we will be there. There is a guest, and do the no trace, and if you're going to be in the parking lot, go inside and get yourself something to eat, and buy a soft drink, so they'll get upset us. So now where this is, I still don't know. I mean, it looks like they've got some areas in here, and I think that'd be a summit. I don't know. I don't even know where it's at, but we're going to find it. Maybe not today. We will find it. Soda is not my bailiwick here, so I don't know where anything and everything is. So Dave's telling me that 40's going away, so I should probably get on the air here. So let's Let's kill this. And let's find a rolled radio leg here. All right. So I will be using the Yaesu 891 and the Yaesu ATOS 120 antenna today. Well, Virginia is booming in this morning. That's good. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Sometimes it'd be nice to have a waterfall in here just to find a wide open spot. But it is the frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Kilo Echo 0, Mike Alpha Delta. Sean, good morning, 5-9.
Yeah, great signal. 5-7 in Missouri this morning, 7-3.
All right, thank you from Missouri this morning. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
Kilo Echo 6, Golf Alpha Echo.
Kilo Echo 6, Golf Alpha Echo. Dave, good morning, 5-9.
Hey, QSL, Tim, got you a 5-8 here this morning in the bike off here.
All right, thank you from Missouri, my friend. Have a great day today in 73.
7-3, thanks for being activated. POTA.
All right, POTA on, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. A spot just went out, so it'll be just a second. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Alpha, Kilo.
Kilo Quebec 4, Papa Alpha Kilo Ronald. Good morning, 59 plus.
QSL 59, you are 55 into Victor Alpha, Virginia.
All right, thank you for Virginia this morning. Have a great day today in 73.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Kilo Quebec 4, Alpha Papa Delta. Andrew, got you in the log there. Really light this morning, 4-5, 45. I copied the 3-4 in Alabama, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning at 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 3, Sierra Tango Lima.
Kilo 3, Sierra Tango Lima. John, good morning, 5-9.
QSL, you're coming in about a 4444 into Pittsburgh, but we got it in the log. So, hey, enjoy your activation, my friend, and POTA on.
All right, thank you for the contact from Pittsburgh this morning. I appreciate it. Have a great day today in 73, my friend.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. If you guys haven't already, just put a link in the chat there. That links out to the email sign-up list. I was actually able to secure probably Corky QRP's. Well, I know it is a lot of negotiation to go through this, but his largest discount ever, and it's actually a pretty good one. But get signed up for the mailing list, and I will start sending that out here today. So. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November Echo 4, Tango November.
November Echo 4, Tango November. Walter, good morning, 5-8.
Good morning, Tim. I got you about a 5-5 in Tennessee, QSL.
I copied the 5-5 in Tennessee, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning at 73.
Thank you, 73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November 8, Oscar Yankee Yankee.
November 8, Oscar Yankee Edward. Good morning, 5-9.
Yeah, not real strong here, but November 8, Oscar Yankee, about a 4444 here in West Virginia this morning, over.
I copied the 4-4 into West Virginia, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning in 73.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Victor Echo 3.
Victor Echo 3, Papa Yankee Juliet. Gerald, good morning. A little light this morning, 4-5, 45. I copied the 4-4 into Ontario, Canada, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning at 73.
Okay, QSL, thanks so much. We'll update
All right, thank you very much. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 9, Oscar Bravo.
Kilo 9, Oscar Bravo. Jeffrey, good morning, 5-9.
Got you 5-9, Michigan this morning. Thank you.
All right, thank you for Michigan, my friend. Have a great day today in 73.
7-3.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Echo 8, Victor
Kilo Echo 8, Victor
Sierra Golf.
Sierra Golf. Anthony, good morning, 5-9.
I got you a good 5-9 up here. I'm starting to lose hope on the 40-meter fan, but you just reinforced it. Thank you very much, and thanks for your activation.
All right, thank you, my friend. Have a great day today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QSY to for you 20 meters. There's a lot to be said for not having to tune. Physically go out and adjust the antenna. All right.
Dígame, caballero.
Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is the frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US-4215, the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Quebec.
Is there a Kilo Quebec station?
Kilo Quebec 4, Yankee November, Joe in Georgia.
Kilo Quebec 4, Yankee November, Joe from Georgia. Good morning, 5-9.
You're 5-9 over here. I got a lot of QSL, anyway, a lot of, well, hey, you're coming in good, Mr. Tim. Hey, thank you for being out there on YouTube. I enjoy watching you every Sunday morning, sir.
All right, I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much. Have a great day today in 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. November 5, Tango, Ross, good morning, 5-5. I copied the 5-3 into Texas this morning, my friend. Thank you for the contact in 73.
7-3.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Whiskey Alpha 2, United Fox Delta. Frank, good morning. 5151. I copied the 5-8 into Florida, my friend. Thank you for the contact this morning in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parked on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. This is where if you don't leave you got to leave a little bit of a gap for people to respond, but if you leave too much of a gap, somebody will slide in and take the frequency. So CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. I figured Vaughn in his boxer shorts would be responded by now. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Georgia. Hey, my antenna is in-fed wire 15 feet off the ground horizontal, but I'm glad you're able to pick me up this morning. You're sounding good down here in Georgia, sir, and I'm glad I was able to make contact with you. Now, I'm not going to keep you. I know you're trying to make it's rough today, but the 7-3 to you again, KQ4 YYN.
All right, Joe. Thank you for the contact. I appreciate it today. Yeah, it's pretty quiet here, but depending on where you're at in the country, it might have a different representation. But hey, have a great day today. Enjoy your Sunday in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. So I was just looking at the spotting thing here. Somebody spotted me Whiskey Fox 7 Lima, 5'9" in Washington State, which is good. I haven't worked them, but CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QRT. So one thing I do, but I do the do is I usually set the radio to 50 megahertz, 6 meters, which by the way, supposedly this time of year it's going to get pretty hot. So if you've got the ability to do FT8 or voice on 6 meters, allegedly it's going to be a pretty fun time. I've been able to do some long distance VHF propagation And this is on the bottom side of that in the 50 megahertz versus 150 megahertz. But the ionosphere heats up in a certain way and gets active this time of year and allows some interesting things. So wrapping up here. got our park activated this morning, and below me up here. All right, park activated this morning. So the reds markers are the 40-meter markers, and the blue ones are 20 meters. So not a whole lot. Like I said, got a report, at least a spot on. I should do this before I forget. This has happened to me. I've forgotten to spot myself. Is QRT, and it's auto spotted for some reason. I just shut the lid on my computer, and it maybe still was connected. So that's what it looks like right now. It is what it is. Sometimes, and you guys have seen it, I've been working a pile up for 30 plus minutes. And sometimes it's a little thinner. As I was saying, sometimes you need to keep the band active when you're activating. It's if there's a gap of any significance and somebody swings, tunes in and doesn't hear anything in the first like 10, 15, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, they're going to start moving in. And so when you are out activating, keep that rhythm going. Keep doing it. A lot of radios have the voice feature in there, and in before you start, record something. Do the intro, your call sign, the park you're in, and do that a couple times, and have that button on the ready if you need it. The 891's got something in it. I have never used it on the 891 just because it's not exactly in a right in front of me thing. It's mounted to the molly panel on the side of the trans tunnel here, so it's there. But guys, it is coming up on 10 o'clock, and Jim and Tio will be live streaming this morning. Have a great day. Spend some time, get outdoors, spend some time with your family. Enjoy, smell the coffee, sniff the beans. Do something with it, but have fun nonetheless. We'll get out of here. Other great ham radio stuff coming up throughout the day today. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you get signed up for that mailing list. I'm going to start putting that code out. If you want anything for Corky QRP, this is the code to have. So we will talk to everybody later. Have a great day. 73.